without Frank. We have our co-host, Paul Haas, author of the Holly Man series, and Frank is missing in action for a second. How are you, Paul?
I'm good, good. Happy to have our guest on today. Marcus,
Absolutely.
welcome.
Yes. So
Thank you.
Marcus Alqueres joins us. He's going to talk about the new film Warden. And thanks for stopping by. And it's got to be really exciting that it's finally out.
Yeah, thanks for having me here. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I'm really excited. Warden comes out today on all digital platforms, and I'm super excited to be here and talking with you guys.
All right. So let's talk, Marcus. How did this project start for you?
Well, I got the script a little bit before a pandemic, and I fell in love with the script, and I said, well, let's make it. And we got a little bit of financing, and just when we were about to start production, COVID hit, and it all fell apart. And then a little bit after, maybe 2021, I decided to self-produce this. And the way I do my own short films, which I got some interesting buzz in the internet with my short films, and decided to produce the way I produced them. And now it's ready. So that was how it started.
So how did your career start then? You talked about how this happened, but how did your career start in filmmaking?
Well, I started in visual effects, right? So I used to work for the big films, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Tintin, 300. I used to work with the visual effects and in the department, and slowly I started like shifting to directing because I wanted to tell a story, my own stories. And so at one point I left the industry and was home working on my own films. And I put this one out called The Flying Man. That was 10 years ago. And that film picked up in the internet. It got like 20 million views plus. And then, I started like a career from that short film. And now I kind of direct commercials, develop feature films, direct feature films, and short films still. But yeah, I got a career for myself.
So my question to you, how does that getting that many views? Was that good monetization for you or more promotion, getting that many views?
At the time, we're talking here about 2014, 2013. It was mostly for exposition. I got a lot of things from just those views alone, not monetization as per se, but mostly for my career. So a lot of open doors. That was it.
And that's huge, right? To finally have some of those doors open.
Yeah. It was really exciting at the time. It felt like a big film release, right? You got like emails all over the place, and people inviting you for meetings, and they want to talk to you. They want to direct, like studios in LA wanted to meet, and agency managers. It was really crazy at the time. That was before the algorithms got too strong. So you really, at the time, you had that feeling of getting viral, like getting out of the bubbles, and getting a lot of people to see. That was cool.
Paul, what question do you have? Especially interested in that whole VFX thing and some of the people he's worked with. What do you have a question for?
Yeah, actually, I'm kind of interested in Warden. If you could tell us a little bit about that to set the stage.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Warden, like my first short film, which is kind of a superhero story with a horror spin, Warden is a superhero story with a more of a political spin. So to me, it's told as a documentary, which is, you're never going to see that in any superhero film, right? So this is different from everything you've been seeing lately in the theaters. So this is more like a reflection on society. I try to do the groundest superhero take ever. If this would ever happen, how we would react to this, but not just in the human level, but society level, politicians and, the system. And that's kind of a reflection on how this would happen. And that's basically the premise of Warden.
Okay. And who do you think your audience is for this film?
Good question. A good question. I think the audience, it's you know, people who are superhero fans, but people also who likes documentaries. People who you gotta find the mid ground, you know, in all those audiences. But I mean, this is I'd say people interested in politics also could enjoy this. Maybe not the usual superhero fan, but also the superhero fan as well, because there's lots of references to comic books and, you know, comparison between the comics and the real superhero. So it's kind of a node to comics and sciences and you know, there's quite a lot of mixture on this one. So I'm expecting to reach a broader audience, you know, people that maybe are not superhero fans, but this one is totally different because the superhero here is just kind of a, how to say that, it's a term that the superhero is just to, as I forgot the term now, but anyways, it's different from everything. So I'd hope like get people's feedback to see how this resonate with them, because it might sound different to each one that we'll see.
All right. Okay. And what is your ultimate goal for this film?
To people watch it, you know, most of my films, you know, my main goal is to, I never intended to make an obscure flick, you know, that is just forgotten in the shelf. To me, my biggest goal is always to make films for the people to watch, and you know, to see the message, and you know, to see the what I mean, what I have to show them. So to me, it's really for the people to watch.
100%. It's exciting times. Paul, what other question you have?
I'm kind of interested, Marcus, in like some of the off-screen kind of relationships and all that of of how what is the synergy between what does it need to be the synergy between a director and the actors? Do you tell them specifically what to do, or do they have any input? And how does all that work?
Um, yeah, no, it's a good question. I think when the actor is reading the script, he's gonna have his own ideas of how the character should perform. And of course, you as a director also have your own ideas. But to me, as a director, I like to embrace what an artist, or in this case, the actors, are bringing to the table. Of course, we talk about it, and they might have ideas of how they should be dressed, or how they should, you know, if they have any little things that they want to, you know, show. So it's all a conversation. I tend to embrace quite a lot from my collaborators, you know, and of course, my job as a director is really to be giving them space, but at the same time, whatever serves this story, right? And then any other stuff, like, and then you have the editing that you can also shape the character in the editing, cut some of the stuff. But I like to have range with the actors, you know, so I let them play a little bit, so you have kind of a range to cut from, so it's not super stale. So in a way, it's like you can go different ways in the editing room. But yeah, I mean, and for Warden specifically, the script was really well written by Jeff Duhas, and the lines, because this is told as a documentary, right? So it needs to sound very real when the actors are speaking the lines, because it's almost like interviews, talking heads and all that. So it cannot be feeling staged, right? So in that matter, the lines were really well written, so the actors, they embraced all the lines, because sometimes you get to kind of improv, you know, so it sound more realistic. But this time it was like they read it, and each actor had like 20 pages of text to be just spoken through the camera. So for them, it's a big challenge as well, right? Because you got like 20 pages, and it's just one day shooting for each actor, which is different from a regular film, which you might have 20 pages, but you spread across maybe 15, 20, 30 shooting days. So you get like 1 page to 4 pages a day per actor. This time was like 20 pages one day. So they had to memorize all those lines and spit it on a camera. But the lines were like sounding so real, and the actors also felt really good reading the lines. So seeing the film, you're going to see that, you know, it doesn't feel staged. It feels like very, very natural and realistic.
You're on mute.
Best
You're
place
on
we
mute.
can check out the film. Where can we go, Marcus?
Yeah. So
What-
I didn't hear.
Best place we can check out the film. Where can we go?
I think all digital platforms, Prime Video, Apple TV, you know, Google, and YouTube, they're all like pay-per-view right now, VOD. But you can pretty much cable, everything's there, and it's gonna be on DVD as well, believe it or not. So there's DVD on demand, so you can order your hard copy and have in your DVD player. And yeah, everywhere now.
Well, Marcus, we appreciate your time. It was great, Paul. Exciting to talk to somebody with those skill sets and VFX and what he's been able to grow and build. And best of luck as a filmmaker. Thanks again, Marcus.
Thanks, Neil. Thanks, Paul, for having me here. And yeah, have a great day.
All right. That was special simulcast Neil Haley Show and Fridays with Frank, guys. Take care.